Yo, what up? This is D Knight, and you're listening to the Pardon the Insurrection podcast. My oh my, we've had so much going on. For starters, in case you missed it, we've got a new addition to the Pardon Pie family, Tara Dublin. Make sure you go follow her on Twitter at Tara Dublin Rocks. Also, pick up a copy of her book while you're at it. Make her day, The Sound of Settling. A very fun and interesting read compared to the things we talk about on this podcast. But yeah, we're heading toward the do or die time for the 2024 election. Go ahead and hit up JoeBiden.com. Get that man like $1 a month or something. Help his campaign staff up and get prepared to try and save our democracy. And make sure to grab like one other person you know and tell them about the podcast. Make sure they subscribe and tune in every single week. We got a lot of things coming up for you this year. We need all the support that we can get. So if you do your part and help us grow our audience, we'll do our part and help elect Joe Biden in 2024 and save American democracy. And this is the Pardon the Insurrection podcast.
One, two, three, four.
Hey, this is D Knight.
This is Carol.
This is Ty.
And you're listening to the Pardon the Insurrection podcast. And this episode of Pardon the Insurrection is sponsored by Sheets and Giggles. If you were wondering if there was a way for you to get an incredible night of sleep while also staying woke AF, you can do that by purchasing some wonderful bedding and sheets from Sheets and Giggles. We hear they're supposedly incredibly soft, but Colin, the CEO of Sheets and Giggles, has failed to send us our sheets yet. So you just have to take his word for it. So the thing is, because Trump has such a massive control over their base, like Republicans, they want to keep the approval of the base over which he has control. But he also is the reason why they continue to lose in elections. 2020 presidential election and the 2022 midterms. And of course, they're considering that if he's the nominee in 2024, that he'll just tank their chances there as well. But they don't want to be the ones to take Trump out themselves, right? They don't want to do the hard work. They want someone else to do the dirty work for them. So like the ideal scenario for them is Trump's indicted. He loses his trial. He loses the 2024 Republican nomination. And then they get to run a campaign based on the grievance of what was done to Trump, but have a 2024 presidential candidate that doesn't have the baggage. So that's the ideal scenario for them. But
again, to be clear, the same shitty agenda.
Oh, yes, they definitely want the Trump policies just without the Trump baggage. Right.
Yes.
It's like when you break up with your ex and you want someone just as hot as they were, but not as crazy.
And then you realize you keep ending up with the wrong person because you never change what you're looking for.
Yeah, the problem is not your ex or your new boo. It's you. You're the common denominator there.
You're the common denominator.
You make bad decisions. You have terrible taste. Terrible taste in presidential candidates. And again, look, this one only happened. This one only happened.
Fall because I made some bad choices.
Wait, what'd you say? You have bad taste in zaddies? Holy shit. Well, I have zero taste in zaddies because, I like MILFs.
Yeah. So I saw a little meme that says, "Congratulations to Donald Trump for finally winning a popular vote."
Wait, was that me? Because I think I was going to tweet that.
You were going to tweet it?
I don't know if I did or not. I tweeted so much, I can't remember what I tweeted or not.
Wait, it says it was Quentin Tarantino, but it's just a picture. It looks like a screenshot. Did Quentin Tarantino steal your tweet? Go see if you tweeted it.
I don't even know if I tweeted it. Yeah, I was going to tweet for the first time in Donald Trump's life. He finally won a popular vote, except it was with a grand jury. I guess I didn't get that out there.
Quentin beat you. Or stole it from someone else before you could posted it.
That's okay. He can have it. I'm sure. Look, that's one of the tweets. I'm sure like 100,000 people tweeted that same.
Yeah, a lot
shit.
of people think of the same joke. I mean,
Yeah, well,
independently.
something as massive as this, like there's like only so many possible plot lines for a good joke with this shit. Like I'm sure everyone's going to stumble on some form or fashion of a similar thought. But yeah, I think I got one on there. Yeah, here's someone. Here's someone.
What? Did somebody like text you or message you or what?
No. I was just, one of them is yes, Trump will be tried as an adult.
I saw that meme. I like that. That was so good.
Oh man, look, I'm so looking for, look, if you can't tell, we're all bubbling with joy over here. I'm so looking forward to the unsealing of this indictment next week so we can talk about the particulars of the criminal charges. Yeah, oh man, I can't wait. It's going to be fun times. Yeah, I'm assuming at this point what we have going on in the Republican Party is you basically have three groups of people. Again, I'm sure most of the, okay, first of all, what you have is like the people who want Trump gone for whatever reason, right? But they're never going to come forward and say they want Trump gone. These are the quiet motherfuckers right now. These are the people who are like, oh, Trump's indicted. I'm not going to come out and condemn him, but I'm not going to come out and defend him either. These are the Mitch McConnells of the Republican world, right? Next in line, you have the Ron DeSantis peoples, the people who want Trump out of the way for their own personal political gain. They need Trump out of the way so they can try and fill the void as far as the power vacuum is concerned. And then, of course, the third group of people, there's like the Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world, like the people who will go to bat for Trump. No matter what kind of criminal jeopardy he's in, because they're playing to the base. Of course, there is no group of Republicans who actually believe Trump is innocent and worthy of of an actual legitimate.
And none of them are claiming that he's innocent.
No,
that's not the dialogue. They're just like, this is political. It's political. This is a bullshit. If they can come after him, they can come after me. I mean, any of us.
Yeah, literally none of them. There's no Republican in elected office claiming that Trump is innocent of committing a crime.
Carol,
so you just keep that in mind.
Because I'm very disturbed right now.
It's a shaker.
I thought, when you were, I swear to God,
Carol made herself a margarita.
And I thought the blue
it's a
was
little
the
whale.
Carol has a whale-shaped mixer of which she used to make a frozen. Was that a frozen margarita?
No, it's on the rocks, and I made two margaritas worth because I thought we were gonna get lit. And so, look, okay, this Acyn, ACYN, we all know that at Acyn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Acyn.
my guy. My favorite of the internet.
How do you pronounce his name?
I actually don't know how.
Acyn?
You don't, because it's on Twitter. But
I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he is my favorite of the internet hooligans. He actually made me an honorary internet hooligan when we all thought Twitter was going to end, and he finally followed me back. So yeah, pat myself on the back.
That's
here.
very nice. But
That's
I
my guy.
see this quote tweet. I know he's being quote tweeted. Eric Trump. I went into literally CVS yesterday, and you can't buy Tylenol because it's locked behind these glass counters. But yet their attention is going after Donald Trump. What? What in the stupid fucking unrelated?
He obviously has never been to fucking Compton because you can't get no eye makeup.
I went literally into the CVS.
That shit is behind the glass.
I had to go literally into CVS.
Y'all have problems.
Sorry,
but yeah,
literally CVS. Ew.
Like for real, that motherfucker ain't never been to the hood apparently, because I stay with getting somebody to come and unlock the door or unlock the fucking thing so I can get some mascara or
Well, mascara too.
Whatever.
The only ones at the white neighborhoods we have, I think like condoms, maybe. No, not even razor blade cartridges are behind glass.
Okay, that's interesting.
Those are expensive.
So that's privilege. That is privilege. When you fix your mouth to type that shit out loud, that tells me everything I need to fucking know about you. You type that shit out loud. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I think he said it. This is a quote for. I'm not playing the clip that accompanies this, but I assume it's a
fucking double for saying it out loud.
I also love that like this is like the worst part of his life. It's like I had to go to CVS and I had to wait and ask someone to get me Tylenol. I was treated like how someone who lives in a black neighborhood is treated, and I will not tolerate this. And why are they talking about that? Why are they talking about Donald Trump instead of the one time my privilege didn't help me get Tylenol faster? Anyway.
I
should stop reading Twitter. Mine's a margarita.
No,
margarita on the rocks.
Twitter is fun.
Jalapenos.
Give me some. I want it.
Oh, I think I just spilled some on my computer.
Carol is trying to pour margarita into Ty's mouth through the computer screen. For those out there wondering what is going on here. Yeah, we've clearly already had too much to drink. And it's still early.
Literally CVS.
Oh my God. Yeah. I was just enjoying watching video of Lindsey Graham crying on national television.
I want to
because his boo is going to jail.
Video? I want it. Where's that video?
He would be happy that guy's going to jail. He's just crying about how much he's destroyed his own life, when he made that prophecy and then stuck by as it happened and anchored himself to it.
Well, wait, the prophecy specifically being if we nominate Trump, we will get destroyed.
And we will deserve it.
And we will deserve it, yes.
And this is a separate context, but he said, and I want you to quote me on that. And we fucking have, dude.
That is one of the most famous tweets on the internet. Like that one will live on in infamy forever. Oh man, it's so good. Yeah, I can't forget it. It's incredible how accurately it was that Lindsey Graham predicted the future there.
And now he has to cry into his Fox News microphone 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, lady lands her fucking smelling salts and fainting couch. Because that's where that bitch is headed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I wish he would just come out of the closet already. It would make all of us so much happier in life, so much more simple.
Nah, man, I don't want these horrible motherfuckers being representative of the LGBTQ community. Right, like I'm out on that. Like George Santos being like, I still don't know how gay he actually is, even though we have video of him dressing up as a drag queen.
Oh, he is. Oh, the fucking way flame.
Yeah, but I'd rather he be straight
because he was not accepted. He did not win. Fucking, the whole of the year, whatever, that he was trying to do with his platform. But he's latching himself onto the Republican Party because he failed to fucking what he wanted. Like, you can see him, Qatar Vivace, being out in the scene, going, he wanted to be in the scene. He wanted to be known. He wanted to be famous. It didn't fucking happen.
And then when he got to politics, like only one of the parties stands for abject hypocrisy, and the other one calls you on your shit. So like he's like, all right, well, these guys don't give a shit that I'm a sociopath. I guess I'll hang out with them.
You can really only be a successful lying ass grifter in one of the two parties. So, of course, he was kind of boxed in there. That's I imagine that's how he ended up as a Republican. I also imagine that's how Lindsey Graham ended up as a Republican. So there you go. Yep.
Oh, Lady G has been a Republican for like 30 fucking years. This bitch is entrenched in it. And she's an Southern hoe. Like, I'm literally
my favorite.
Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil. That's Lady G. She could be fucking the starring character in that movie.
I mean, I'm usually fond of old Southern hoes. This is like the one case in which I'll make an exception. All right, let's get back to the insanity of 2016. Donald Trump literally committing crimes in order to win the 2016 election, as he's having a crowd of his supporters yell, "Lock her up." Just
this is only the crimes that he's been indicted for so far.
Well, let's not forget, shall we? Again, and Ty, you pointed this out earlier, that also in 2016, he was under investigation for, basically conspiring with Russia to get their help to win the 2016 election. And he evaded criminal charges in that particular instance. One, because he had the immunity of being a sitting president, DOJ having that unfortunate memo about not charging or not indicting a sitting president, but also himself as well as all of his cohorts obstructing that investigation and facing no consequences. So yeah, he was involved in multiple criminal conspiracies to influence the 2016 election. At least he got indicted for one of them.
Yes.
And it'll keep him busy until he gets indicted for something else. At least. I mean, I don't think that trials will speed by. So would you say he's a flight risk? Because personally, I don't think he's the sort of fella who should be out on bail. But,
I don't think...
Would the words like threat to national security, flight risk, likely to incite violence, do you think any of those considerations would weigh into a bail hearing? D, your thoughts?
As you may or may not be aware, given that you live in New York has undergone some bail reform here in the recent past. I don't actually think...
I'm a dirty liberal, so I'm supposed to support that.
I too am a dirty liberal, and generally I do support some of the bail reforms that have taken place in New York here. But I do think one of the things a judge will consider is not whether, it's entirely possible that they would consider Trump to be, a threat to public safety if he had engaged in violence himself personally. I don't know if threatening to incite violence will actually be considered. Also, I don't think Trump is necessarily a flight risk until this trial is going to take place. So as long as he turns himself in to be arraigned by the Manhattan DA within a reasonable Carol, what are you doing?
I'm drunk.
As long as he turns himself in to Bragg's custody within a reasonable time frame to be arraigned, I'm pretty sure his hearing that they won't consider him to be a flight risk. I mean, for God's sake, he's running for president in 2024. You kind of have to do that from fucking America.
That motherfucker ain't going nowhere.
He seems to, he can't afford it, but no, the Rubes keep sending him the money. I mean, how much has he raised since that he announced that he was going to be arrested last Tuesday?
Well, since his announcement that he would be arrested last Tuesday, he did raise a couple $1 million, maybe $2.5 million. Upon the announcement,
stopped counting last pod.
Upon the announcement of his indictment today, they sent out the fundraising emails. There's no telling the amount of money he raised. But again, look, if you would like to know the differences between his fundraising apparatus in this particular instance, the announcement of his indictment versus the amount of money he fundraised after losing the 2020 election by claiming it was rigged, the difference is night and day. He basically walked away with 150. What are you doing? He basically walked away with $150 million after losing the election in 2020, running on the false claim that he lost the erection. Good God, I keep doing that. Jesus Christ. Please, Carol, stop.
I'm sorry.
Oh, good God.
I was showing Dee the gap in my teeth. Yeah. Look at that sexy implant. You can see it. I got implants, guys.
It's an audio medium, Carol. They can't see any fucking thing that you're talking about right now.
To you.
People are listening to this.
The joke is that I got a dental implant and I said I got implants and you guys thought I meant my boobs. Not you and Ty. You can see that my boobs are still small. Or you can't because I'm wearing this black shirt and it's kind of just like a...
I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about. Where was I? It was something important.
Something about Trump is indicted.
Whoop-de-doo. Who cares? All right.
Wait, the host has disabled my
die in jail, yada, yada,
all right,
yada.
on to more important news. Gwyneth Paltrow won in her ski trial today.
Is that a real trial? I swear to God, I thought it was a Saturday Night Live skit. I thought it was parody.
No, that was some real shit. It actually happened.
It's real?
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Because last week I was like, what the fuck is this? What is who is this on trial for skiing? It's like, that's insane. And she won today. She came out victorious. The jury found her not responsible for the...
Hold on, I just peed a little when I coughed. So I'm gonna...
She could have not mentioned it. We can't see her at all despite her video being on, but she has integrity as a journalist. So she told us the truth and the whole truth, even though we didn't ask her, want to know.
We appreciate your journalistic integrity, Ty. Are you wearing panties?
I think she's not. She just has a robe on. Thank you for watering the desert.
I just kind of burped a little bit.
Are we in the bathroom now?
Yeah, I am. I'm sitting on the toilet. But...
Okay, so now in pardon Ty's bodily functions, we may have reached that critical mass where the alcohol stops making you charming and makes you incoherent, and that's where I am now. So my closing thoughts. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, first of all, I think we normally do a shithole of the week award before we get to our closing thoughts.
Of the week.
Okay, and we have a nomination.
And just to remind you of the rules of the show, is that of this particular segment is that it cannot be Ron DeSantis every week. So, yeah, with that in mind,
Trump is once you win the award twice, you're forbidden from it's like Jeopardy. Like you can only be the champion so many times.
Oh, I have a shithole.
Do you?
You're governor now. You're elected official. You're congressional rep.
You're gonna totally agree with me on this one. Oh wait, you guys want me to see it now? Is this a segment?
Yeah, we cleared.
Okay,
we cleared the runway for you, Ty. Can you land the plane like Rod Rosenstein?
My shithole of the week nominee is North Dakota's state senator who said it's not the responsibility of the North Dakota
to feed them damn kids. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. That fucker gets my goddamn. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to have to nominate the congressman or the state representative. Is a state representative from Tennessee who said we're not going to be able to stop the the mass shootings, and his solution to protect his own child was to homeschool them, and sent out the Christmas cards with the guns on it, and said that wasn't in poor taste at all, and he regrets nothing. That's my nominee. It's a tough one for me, Ty. Your guy's also a fucking sleazebag. Wow, there's so many of them.
Well, I was gonna nominate my actual governor here in Tennessee, Bill Lee.
Shit!
Not only did a couple of children die at the shooting at the Covenant School, but also his wife's actual friends were massacred in that shooting. And his response to said shooting was not to find a way to make sure this never happens again, but to ask people for their thoughts and prayers. So,
damn, I feel like we have a 3-way tie.
Well, I do normally love 3 ways, but this is the one case in which I'll take exception to that.
I feel like we have a 3-way tie because every one of them is deserving for the fucking shithole of the week award.
All right. Well, I mean, look, I guess we'll have our first ever 3-way tie for Shithole of the Week award.
Between 3 guys, at least 2 of whose names we don't know.
All right. Well, Governor
Let's
Bill.
just make one conglomerate shithole Republican state level person who has anti-trans or otherwise intolerant and abhorrent views and is getting children killed. Great.
And also, even if they live, they won't feed them, so they'll eventually die from starvation. Congratulations, you 3 Republican shitholes. You are hereby awarded the Shithole of the Week award. Okay.
Shithole of the Week. But we're going to keep the trophy because they don't deserve it.
Absolutely. Okay, kids, you know the routine here. Closing thoughts. Ty, do you have any closing thoughts? Anything you'd like to get off your chest?
You know what? Like, since meeting with Esther Bash, it just reinforced in me.
Okay, well, wait, before you continue, give the audience some context. Esther Bash, Holocaust survivor.
Esther Bash is the 94-year-old Auschwitz survivor. She was taken to Auschwitz on her 16th birthday and was on the death march when she was liberated by U.S. soldiers. Though my grandfather was not on that watch, he served overseas in World War II. So meeting her was one of the highlights of my life. And I just broke down in tears. And she looked at me and she said, Hitler is 6 feet under hell. But I'm here. I won. That will stay with me. Like, I can't.
That's some real shit.
Yeah, right? Yeah. She's so fucking gangster. Like, I fucking love it. She's like, but I'm still here. Like,
man, that's such a great perspective.
Yeah.
It kind of like quells my anxiety for now, you know? Briefly. Damn.
Yeah, Carol, I mean, I know you weren't around at the time, but you're Jewish, so I'm sure you probably share that same sentiment.
I mean, yeah, but I guess I haven't had I obviously haven't had the same life experiences that would lead me to have like such a refined perspective. And
I mean, nor have I, but fuck Hitler. Like, that's not
well,
hard.
yeah, that part I can get, but I'm just, I guess like some of those concepts are just hitting me. Like, I'm moved by the sentiment.
Yeah, me too. Like, it was
gotta carry on.
And here I am, and I was like, it's such an honor to meet you. And she's like, no, it's my honor. Like, humility, and oh my God, like, I'm already like, and I'm tearing up right now, but it was so incredibly amazing. And she just grabbed me and hugged me, and I just cried into her shoulders. And then that was what she said about Hitler. Like basically, don't feel sorry for me because I'm still here, you know?
Yeah.
But even like later, I was like getting in line because I wanted to get a picture of her daughter found out one of the men who liberated her. And she had a picture of him, and I was trying to get it. And she saw me when I was getting in the line, and then she just, because I met her like when we had our interview, it was like before in the area. And she put her hand out to me, like, and she was just smiling, like, come here, come here. And it was so incredibly amazing. Just to be in her presence. Her heart and her spirit does. She says, I can't forget, but I can forgive. It was, I don't know, it was amazing. I just want to say that's why I fight. I fight for Esther. I fight for my son. Because the Holocaust survivors, they're dying. You know, they're older, and we need to stay vigilant and continue to carry the torch and tell their stories, because it is so important. So important.
Oh, Ty. No. This is the one of the downsides about remote podcasting is that we don't get to hug each other at moments like this. Also, the sound quality issues.
Yeah, thanks for lightening the mood there, Carol. We needed that. Good looking.
Yes, Esther would have next time. Tell Esther we're coming too.
Yeah, now we're fucking disappointed we didn't get to meet her. Like, way to hog Esther for yourself.
Maybe she'll invite us for a Seder. I'm still harping on the same thing as my last final thoughts, which is that the Wisconsin Supreme Court election is next Tuesday, April 4th. It's a big one. It's just as important as it was last week and the week before when it was my closing thought. Vote for Janet. Polish last name,
something or Witz with a P.
Prushewitz.
Yeah.
Purse.
I'm sorry.
We would like to get a chief Poland consultant to come out once and tell us how to pronounce that name.
Okay, Ty. If me and you mispronounce her name, it's not great. But like, Carol, since you're Jewish, like, did you get a pass for not being able?
I don't know. I should be able to pronounce it because I studied linguistics, but we never like focused on Polish. And I'm not seeing it. I can look at the International Phonetic Alphabet and try to figure it out.
Yeah, good luck. But, no, look, you're absolutely right. Like, we're making jokes, but like, this is literally democracy on the ballot for Wisconsin as a state, and it's entirely possible that this could affect the United States as a whole in the 2024 election. Like, literally, the Supreme Court will have the ability in 2024 to, assuming that it's anything like 2020, they'll have the ability to throw out thousands of votes, which could literally swing the popular vote in Wisconsin, which could swing the popular vote for the electoral college vote for the president. So, yeah.
So I'm going to go with, again, now looking at it, we're going to go with Janet Protasiewicz. But Protasiewicz?
Man, people are cutting the podcast off in mass, promising to never turn this shit back on.
They have to.
Like, you can't even.
They're going to go and vote for her.
Can't even get her fucking name right.
Look, okay. Unless they're Polish, they're probably also looking at this name and not knowing how to pronounce it. We live on Twitter. We live online. I asked you about another pronunciation earlier, and you're like, I've never thought about how to pronounce that, because we live in a world of written word and reading comprehension. So I'm just going to read the name out loud to our 5 listeners so they can find her on the ballot. It's excuse me, Ty, Protasiewicz. Great. Janet. You know how to spell that one probably. And if you don't, it's the lady. Vote for the lady. The woman.
Janet P.
Janet P. Janet P for Supreme C.
Janet.
Not P for the thing Lauren Boebert was obsessed with in a congressional hearing the other day. Not that kind of P, like the letter P.
Oh, I don't even want to think about that. Don't put that in my head, Eric.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to think about that.
Well, look, she was fairly obsessed with the idea of like a public urination, and I'm assuming that's because what was it? Her husband was caught exposing his penis to young children at a bowling alley of some sort in the past. Anyway, as for
wasn't she one of those children?
Yes, she was. Yes. Yes.
Go on. I met my husband the old-fashioned way on OkCupid. I wasn't enough of a hopeless romantic to wait. I wasn't enough of a hopeless romantic to wait outside a bowling alley to see if anyone exposed their penis to me.
You were so young and naive.
Yeah. Do you have any closing thoughts?
All right.
My friend?
Yeah, one last thing, right? I guess where I would like to start is the idea that consequences were inevitable. There's no way that someone could reach such a high profile position like president of the United States while continuing on a massive, endless, decades long crime spree without eventually facing some potential consequences. Now, I guess we're largely in this position where Trump is the first president to be facing a criminal indictment, not because Trump is necessarily the first criminal president, but because the last president to be facing such dire circumstances was pardoned by his successor. So, if Trump wants to gripe about how this is a witch hunt and, he should be the first president to be indicted, he shouldn't be mad at Alvin Bragg. He should be mad at Gerald fucking Ford. I don't know, blame him. If we would be in a situation now where presidents didn't feel that they had the authority to do whatever it was they thought was in their best interest while in office, whether that be legal or not. If Richard Nixon had faced consequences for the crimes he committed, 50 years ago, I forgot what year it is. Math is hard.
60 years by now. 60, between 50 and 60.
What is this, 23? I mean, yeah, I guess it's been 50 years. More importantly,
I guess it's the 70s. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. More importantly, because Nixon didn't have to face any consequences for his behavior, that led to a endless spree of crimes committed by Republican presidents, from Ronald Reagan to George Bush to now former President Donald Trump. It appears that should Donald Trump face consequences for his criminal behavior, maybe that will be an important deterrent for Republican presidents in the future. I guess we'll get to see. And you can say that, hey, Donald Trump isn't in jail. He hasn't been convicted. Yeah, that's totally fair. There's still time on the clock. There's the possibility that will happen. But I guess another way to look at it is, given the circumstances with Trump calling for massive protests and potential incitement of violence, seeing that not come to fruition, even though he's been indicted here. I mean, one can only assume that the reason why his supporters haven't stepped up to the plate to come to his defense is because while he hasn't been held accountable for January 6th, his followers who stormed the Capitol on that day have been held accountable, and a number of them are currently on trial as we speak. And because they face consequences, maybe it hasn't completely solved the problem. Of course, we haven't. The people who planned the insurrection on 1/6 haven't been held accountable because the people on because the people on the ground were held accountable for their actions on that day. Trump supporters are now weary of engaging in behavior that would mimic the actions that they took on January
That would
6th.
constitute fucking around.
Right, because they found out.
Yeah, then they don't want to find out anymore.
So with that said, consequences actually matter. Deterrence work, rule of law. It's very important that we uphold our principles and hold people accountable for the actions that they take to damage this country. And this is the first step in that. And if the January 6th insurrection is facing consequences are impacting what's happening today, then the consequences Trump is facing for his actions will impact what happens with our politicians in the future. And that concludes this episode of Part of the Insurrection.